Greetings, gang, and happy lunch hour. I got some good news for us. It's nice to hear those every once in a while. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear a challenge against a Illinois state law that requires election authorities to count mail-in ballots received 2 weeks after Election Day. We might actually be getting an issue where if it ain't counted that Tuesday night, no good. It's one of these anti-mail-in ballot things. Now, I'll give you this. You go back to, 2000. Remember the Bush v. Gore deal? We didn't know who won the election till sometime in December. It was a month later. We go back to 2020. That was a couple of days. This time was actually not too bad. We knew, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, because Kamala Harris got her ass handed to her in every single swing state. But even then, we still had a couple of states that after it was over, that we still didn't get a final tally for a few days. That may be over, because you're getting all these issues on the mail-in ballots, on the corruption with the mail-in ballots, on the, we're down by 20,000? Let's create a bunch of ballots. Well, it's 3 days after the election. Who cares? We can still count them for 2 weeks. I mean, this has been the problem, is, the Republicans ahead, I don't care if it's congressman, I don't care if it's senator, I don't care if it's for president. And all of a sudden, 3 days later, all these ballots show up going, look, we forgot to count all of these, or these just all came in. Ironically, 100% of them are for the Democrats. Happens every time. Might have happened for your state race, your Senate, your House, your governor, the president, whatever. This is the crookedness. This is the corruption. I mean, you know this, I know this. Democrats can't win an election unless they cheat. It's the only way it works. Now, sure, you get into the inner cities or I guess cities. I don't even have to say inner cities. But they always vote against the national interest. It's like, the Democrats are giving us free stuff, or the Democrats believe in, keeping pride parades for Pride Month. Sorry, this is Veterans Pride Month. Nothing else. But, trust me, I won't be celebrating anything other than Veterans Month this month. That's it. But all those, we don't know about it. Look at, the Pennsylvania election, where it was a few days, I think it was senator, I forget exactly what it was. And you had votes coming in for days later and stuff like that. Yeah. That's what the Supreme Court is going to hear this week. Now, this only affects the Illinois law. But like I said, there's 18 states that count ballots that come in after Election Day. If SCOTUS comes up and says the Illinois law is not constitutional, that's precedent to wipe out the other 17. That would be a good thing. But it's about time we get our electoral counting, if you will, done efficiently. I mean, most of you guys are been around long enough that you remember Election Day was one day, and if you had a reason to file an absentee ballot, you applied months ahead of time. Hey, I'm stationed overseas because I'm in the military or something like that, and you got an absentee ballot. It's not like now where, I could just go vote whenever the hell I feel. Early voting starts in June, and you can go vote. There's some states that are really early. Okay, I think there was. I don't remember who it was, but I think there was one state that had early voting open before the Biden-Trump. It might have been before the Biden-Trump debate. I remember maybe when Biden was still on the ballot. Not sure about that. It might have been before the first Harris-Trump debate. But this is where it gets stupid. I'm all for making Election Day a national holiday. Close the banks, close the post office, close the stock market, close businesses. Do it like you used to have blue laws, Sundays, everything was closed. Around me, pretty much on Sunday, everything is closed. Maybe the gas stations, Walmart, the grocery stores, those are about the only things that are open. But any of the other shops, forget it, okay? Hardware stores, co-op, hair salons, whatever, they're closed. We can do that for Election Day. It ain't going to hurt anybody. Then nobody has an excuse to, gee, I can't go vote. And do it, I don't know, like Dixville Notch, New Hampshire does. Make the polls open from 12:01 a.m. to 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. or something like that. So nobody has the excuse, oh, I'm a cop and I worked the day shift and that was the only time I was able to vote. Okay, go vote at 3 o'clock in the morning before your shift starts. I've said to you guys before, I remember being in Massachusetts in the Romney-Obama election, and I was the very first person in line. I was standing in line at 5 o'clock in the morning, so when the polls opened at 6, I was there, I was in, I voted, I got out, and I made it to work on time. It was about an hour's drive to go to work. Okay, I was able to, I'm not going to get up that early. Okay, it's the people's job to go out and vote. It's not the state's job to make it convenient for you. Having the polls open in most places for 12, 13, 14 hours should be enough convenience. I'm all for giving everybody the day off. I'm all for having the polls open for 18, 19 hours. That's fine. No problem. But this mail-in voting crap and this counting late ballots has got to stop. Utah, for example, everything is mail-in. There is no polling place to go to. And Utah is already looking into the fact that it's so corrupted and cumbersome, they are looking at getting rid of the everybody is mail-in voting. Because it doesn't work. The post office loses mail. You don't know if your mail carrier is Republican or Democrat. And, oh, well, gee, this neighborhood's heavily Republican, so I'll just throw out that bag of collected mail. It happens. How many stories have we all seen on 6 months later they find a bag of mail sitting off a highway overpass somewhere because they just threw it out? We wouldn't have the problem with the drop boxes and the ballot stuffers and everything. This is a good thing. We can only hope that the Supreme Court sees it right and says, hey, Illinois, no more. Ballots are counted by 11 p.m. or whatever time, and that's it. If you can't get it done that fast, hire more poll workers. Okay? It's not that difficult. They complain, the left complains all the time. So-and-so had to walk 3 blocks. We need to open up more polling places so it's not so hard for them to get there. Okay. Well, if you want to open up more polling places, which obviously requires more poll workers, you're not against hiring more people. So hire more ballot counters. Right? Let's go back to punch cards. Let's go back to paper ballots. Let's get this done. If every other country in the world, a lot of whom have larger populations than we do, some significantly, India, okay, they can count all the ballots in a few hours. Why can't we? Hell, we only have 160 some odd million registered voters in the country. It ain't that much. Get it done right. SCOTUS, do your job. Tell Illinois they got another one wrong. Set the precedent to clean up all the other stuff, and let us get back to free and fair elections and stop the cheating so we never see another president like Potato Joe get in there because of his 20 million illegal votes. Pinball out.